Hi, welcome to Your Business, Your Rules. I'm Kat LeBlanc. This is the podcast for people who want to start and grow an online location-independent business so they can live a life of freedom and choice on their own terms. Welcome to episode 62. What's possible for me? What am I capable of? Sometimes at the beginning of a big change or when thinking about a big far-off dream, it all looks too, big and far off and overwhelming and somehow exhilarating and terrifying at the same time. And we wonder, should we go for that goal and what's realistically possible for us? So to begin with, here are what some of the most respected people in the world have to say about what you, yes you, are capable of. Brené Brown says, "When you get to a place where you understand that love and belonging, your worthiness, is a birthright and not something you have to earn, anything is possible." Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be." Francis of Assisi said, "Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you're doing the impossible." Jim Rohn said, "The biggest challenge is to become all that you have the possibility of becoming. You cannot believe what it does to the human spirit to maximize your human potential and stretch yourself to the limit." And my personal favorite from Oprah Winfrey, "There is no paycheck that can equal the feeling of contentment that comes from being the person you are meant to be." So if all of this is true, why would you not go for your big dreams? You've probably heard that we overestimate what we can get done in a year, but underestimate what we can do in a decade. Life is going to happen anyway, and you can make incredible changes in just a few short years. If I look back to where I was 10 years ago, I was living in a different country and ready for a new adventure, wanting to meet my life partner but not really getting anywhere with it, in a good job with good pay and great benefits, but knowing it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing with my life, and all my friends were asking me why I would consider giving up what I had. I was living what appeared to be a great life, but feeling somehow this wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. Now I'm a published author and a thought leader in a completely new to me field where I'm doing cutting edge work. I'm earning great money on my own terms and loving my work and the freedom it gives me. My work has helped many people achieve their own goals to the point where I get happy teary when I think about what this means to them and their future and their loved ones, and then what about all the lives that they are changing through their own work, right? It's really heart exploding stuff. I'm living in a house that I nearly completely own in a rainforest with parrots and the occasional wallaby in my garden. I'm also living with my life partner and I became an Australian citizen. But let's also share the other side, the darker side, right? Because this is real life. I didn't make these changes without going through some challenging times, and I certainly don't lead a charmed life. To give you some perspective, here are some of the shitty things that also happened in the last 10 years. I got cancer and wondered for a while if I was going to die, so I'm clear now, but I did go through that. I overcommitted myself in my business and nearly caused us to lose our home at one point. I got divorced, which while it took a while to happen, was painful. I had huge difficulties with becoming a stepmom to 3 kids, and I went through a deep and painful healing of childhood trauma, which decided it no longer wanted to be ignored. So, with all that said, let's be clear, I'm completely fine, right? So I'm not saying this to get sympathy, and at some level, I was fine all along. But was the last 10 years a bed of roses? Hell no! There were plenty of opportunities for life to get in the way, and it did some of the time. No one sails through life unscathed. We are all dealing with our own stuff. Some of it we have no control over, and some of it we do. But why am I sharing all of this quote-unquote negativity when this is a podcast about what's possible for you? It's to help you with your expectations of what striving to find out what you are capable of can look like behind the scenes. We're all here trying our best, getting hit by setbacks. So just rock your thing anyway, right? In Think and Grow Rich, which is a must read and is a result of 25 years of research into the most successful men in America, by the way, published in 1937, hence a lack of women. So the author Napoleon Hill writes, "Every adversity, every failure, every heartache comes with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit." So let's sit with that for a minute. It's a huge statement, right? And of course, I don't know your personal circumstances, and neither does Napoleon Hill. But I do know that most people experience more internal struggle than even their best friends may realize, and that in my own life, even the most terrible things that happened over time showed me my own strength. What I'm saying here is don't expect the road to your big goal to go perfectly. It most definitely won't. Expect setbacks related to your goal and unrelated, and know that you'll learn from them. Experiencing setbacks often isn't a sign that you should stop. It's a valuable and integral part of the human experience, and you're going to experience them regardless. So why not get them on the way to achieving something really meaningful to you? So what else is important to know on your journey to that big goal that you wonder if you're capable of? Know that even the people you most admire didn't start with a fully mapped out plan, and at times had no idea what they were doing. Literally, they had no idea what they were doing. And if you think about this logically, how else could it have been for them? If you've never done something before, you can only start by being clueless. Then finding the best possible thing to do next, and then seeing what happens with that. And then doing your next best step that you can think of after that. If I think back to starting this podcast, obviously I had no idea how to start a podcast. I'd never done it before. I had to do some reading and find out from other people who had done it. I discovered you need cover art, more than one episode to start with, audio files in a particular format. And if you're doing it yourself, you need audio software to edit your files. You also need to know what your podcast is about before any of that. I was stuck on step 1 for 6 whole months because I didn't want to start the typical interview podcast, but I didn't know what I did want. Of course, you can and should learn from those who've gone before you, and I make every effort so that my own programs are as step-by-step as possible. But just don't imagine that everyone else has a plan that goes from step 1 to his or her big dream. They felt just as confused as you at the beginning and also questioned their own capabilities and what was possible for them. So knowing all that, why would you not go for your big dream? Why would you not go for what you want? Life is precious and it's short. And in striving and sometimes failing and going on the journey and eventually getting there, I believe that is where you will find out for yourself what you're really capable of and what is possible for you. Thanks for listening to Your Business, Your Rules. I'm Kat LeBlanc. If you like this show, I'd love you to subscribe, share, and leave a review on iTunes. And if you'd like to continue the conversation, head over to my website at katleblanc.com. Until next time.